other model discussions, we talk about value chain analysis, and this typically refers to the physical value chain of the movement of goods and services through an organization. But with the advent of the internet and connectivity between customers and companies and suppliers, we have come to learn that there is a separate value chain that we must take into account when rolling out new products and services for our customers. This is called the virtual value chain. Before we start talking about the virtual value chain, we'll just review the traditional or physical value chain. In the traditional value chain, we start with inbound logistics, which is where raw materials come into our organization. We have operations, and it's where we perform operations on the raw material, turning them into finished goods. We have outbound logistics, where the finished goods are moved to finished goods inventory and then ultimately sold through marketing and sales. And then we have the after sales service. This is your traditional or physical value chain. So now we compare this to the virtual value chain. The virtual value chain has 5 steps as well. The virtual value chain talks about gathering information, organizing it, selecting it, synthesizing it, and distributing it. We take a look at each one of these separately. In the virtual value chain, gathering has to do with collecting and accumulating information about a product, about a service, or just information. We organize it and store it in a way that makes it easy for us to retrieve it and analyze it later. At some point after we've gathered all this information and organized it in such a way that we can use it, we select the pieces that we want, and then we synthesize it in a way to make it useful. We package information so it can be readily used. And finally, we distribute it by transmitting it to someone else. So let's say, for example, I'm going to create a mashup. And this mashup may include a Google map, it may include music, it may include weather data. So I'm going to gather all this information up, I'm going to organize it in such a way, I'll select the pieces that make sense, I'm going to synthesize it, put it all together. So my mashup includes weather and traffic and a Google map and my favorite New Mexico style Mexican food perhaps, and then distribute it, create a web page, create a blog, make it so somebody can Twitter it. I make it where people can get to it. And these are the 5 steps that are associated with the virtual value chain. So we're not adding value to a physical product, but we're creating a virtual product by gathering information that exists in a virtual world. Now there's 3 classes of strategic initiatives that come from the virtual value chain. One is visibility. A process that is visible gives us the ability to see through an organizational process that used to be just treated as a black box. In other words, we might be able to gain understanding about how we select customers or what our customers are thinking at a particular time when they select a product or service. We see the virtual value chain being used in political campaigns where we're able to tie someone's use of the internet to find a candidate's political position to other parts of their thinking process. We can target them differently. The second initiative would be mirroring, the ability to transmit or take physical activities into information-based ones. So, your act of wandering around with an iPhone application that tells people where you are is transmitting your physical location or perhaps your physical buying behavior into an information-based thing. So we can say, okay, Dennis is at his favorite restaurant right now, and I can tell because his iPhone application is telling me. And finally, there's a digital value initiative, and that's creating a relationship with a customer that didn't exist before without the information technology. We create value with this relationship because of the way we follow we create a relationship and follow this person along. Recently, for example, watchers of the reality show American Idol followed real-time bloggers as the Idol show aired, and the bloggers who worked for various entertainment outlets created relationships with the people who read the blogs and ultimately with their employers.